This week, Austin City Council could vote on a new amended budget after the failure of Proposition Q. Voters rejected raising the city property tax rate 20% higher than last fiscal year's. That would have brought in about an extra $110 million, but also cost the median homeowner about $300 more. KVUE's Malia Masamoto joins us live in studio tonight. And Malia, some council members are now suggesting even more changes to this revised budget.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Well, at the end of last week, several city council members put out a memo recommending two large amendments. Now, one of them reallocating $4.4 million for EMS and $500,000 to establish food pantries. Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Fuentes says protecting these essential services and basic needs are the most important before the city can start thinking about spending money on anything else. Well, when City Council approved the fiscal year 2026 budget back in August, property tax revenues would have exceeded a state limit, so the higher tax rate had to be put on the November ballot. Now, the money from Prop Q would have allocated almost $7 million toward EMS. But without that funding, city leaders are now looking at other ways to pay for these essential services. Well, Mayor Pro Tem Fuentes and council members Ellis, Velasquez, and Siegel recommended reallocating nearly $2 million from the general fund reserves and around $2.5 million from other city departments like the city attorney's office, financial services, and economic development to fund EMS's overtime.
The areas that we are looking at reallocating are areas in which our departmental leaders have already identified as areas that we should be reinvesting or reallocating the dollars from. And so that to me was an area that I felt very comfortable with, especially given the tight time crunch that we have in deliberating this $1.6 billion budget.
Well, Fuentes said they were noticing long lines at food pantries and distribution sites because of the federal shutdown impacting SNAP benefits. So they're also recommending reallocating $500,000 from a new proposed city program to instead go toward delivering meals to older adults and establishing food pantries at schools with a high percentage of low-income families. Right now, her focus is on ensuring basic needs are met before they can expand any of their new city services. And Tuesday is the first time council will hear from department leaders and the budget officer on the budget proposal. They have until Wednesday to file all of their amendments. And then Thursday is the earliest council members could vote on it. They also did set aside Friday and Monday of next week if they need to continue having these conversations. Mayor Pro Tem Fuentes and council members Siegel and Velasquez are planning a listening session tomorrow night to hear from the community about any proposed changes to the budget. Now, Fuentes hopes the community's feedback will give them just a better idea of what areas people really want the city to prioritize investing in. Adam.
And Malia, this Prop Q vote happened less than 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
so this is all moving really quickly here.
Absolutely. It is really happening fast. And Fuentes did say she has concerns about how this timeline is just quickly moving along because they haven't had a public briefing from city staff about the financials. They haven't heard all the amendments, and they do still want to hear more from community members. So she says, even though there could be some big decisions this week, these are definitely conversations that will be continuing on in these coming months.
It's going to be really interesting to hear from the community tomorrow night.
Absolutely. We'll be there listening in.
All right, Malia, thanks so much.
Thank you.